You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
And go.
All right, what? You started off really without me being ready because I was looking at our Discord. I am never on our Discord.
Yeah, I know.
But I get on there occasionally and just be like, what's going on? Posting stuff.
And you are Jerry Baker.
Somebody wanted to do a shame con
And I'm Gaby.
where you bring the board games for which you have not played that are on your shelf to said shame con to play at the shame con. That's a great idea, Dorian or David Allen.
I can't remember which one did it, but yeah.
Ah, that's good. I like that idea.
We have a few games that would be played.
Yeah, I guess.
One is Pendragon, the coin game we will never play.
No, you bought the hardest, and I don't want to mess with it. I've kind of given up on coin games, to be honest.
Yeah, they're, well, me too. Of the half a game I've played.
Rodney likes it.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things. It's like, I feel like I'm not giving it a fair shot, but at the same time, we had the Cuba Libre set up, we're playing it, and like nobody was really, I don't know, it just wasn't hitting.
I just play Root.
Well, that's another thing. It's like everybody says Root is basically coin streamlined, and
not historical.
we don't care for Root.
Root's all right. I mean,
it's just the whole super asymmetrical thing.
I think that you get compelled to try to try to make yourself like something that is universally respected, or that you see others going on with the hotness about.
Well, I think it's just it is a natural thing of if everyone likes something, there must be something to it, and sometimes maybe it's just like, am I missing something? And then you engage in whatever it is, whether it's a TV show, movie, book, game, and you don't feel the same way. Then it's like, well, why do these people like it? And then they can give the reasons, and you still disagree. But yeah, I mean, coin games are like a huge thing. Like they're like this whole subculture of coin games. And you used to play, that's like war gaming basically, right?
War gaming, yep. And I enjoy a lot of war games. But
is Apache Leader not that's not counterinsurgency, is it?
No, there are several counterinsurgency games, but no, like you're confusing war games and counterinsurgency.
Okay.
The coin games are a completely different monster, where you're one side, asymmetrical, different things, different objectives, basically. It's not your typical dudes on the map, you're all trying to get hold of the map. Which I don't.
Troops on a map.
I don't like. That's why I said dudes on the map, just because you don't know what they are. You know, it could be troops, it could be this, it could be that,
right?
Whatever.
Things on a map.
I don't like the idea, that expression, that maybe I'm missing something.
Fear of missing out.
No, I'm not saying that. That's two different things.
I know, but I think that's it. Like, what am I missing? Am I missing something?
That's different. That's not fear of missing out. No, because one is you're missing something.
I want to close that door now since my wife just came home.
Oh, she's going to start vacuuming?
Probably.
Start vacuuming.
We're recording.
She knows.
Love you.
Fear of missing out is that you want to obtain something because you don't have it, and other people, like ARCs right now, everybody's going crazy about it. Missing something after you've played it is wondering why you don't like it. They're not the same.
Yeah.
And I'm saying is the idea that you're missing something, that you've played something and you don't feel it, that there's something that the game didn't give to you that other people it did to others. Like I don't quite understand that phrase, I guess.
We've played so many games.
Yeah.
That the vast majority of people, White Castle. We just discussed several episodes. I mean, there's several games that we play, me and you,
mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking, what am I not approaching it? Am I not using it to my full potential? Gourd head.
I think that what you're saying is that when you see the majority of people enjoying something and you don't like it, you feel as if you're missing something, like there's something you don't understand. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like something's not clicking with me. I should be enjoying this. Let me try it again and see if I did something wrong.
Okay. Yes, there are times when that's the case. I would say that's rare, other than your mood when you're playing a game that could affect your judgment in it at the time, whether it be a social or negotiation game, a game being played wrong, a game being played not at its most player count, that type thing. That is a possibility. But I think that by saying that, you're basically trying to shoehorn yourself into saying you're just like everybody else. I mean, that's what it is. The vast majority of people enjoy a thing for whatever reason, or it appears that they enjoy a thing. Like a lot of times people play something and go on about something that really, it's a loud minority of people who really like it, and a lot of advertising and everybody playing it and everybody thinking it's good. But it really isn't anybody's favorite. It's not that great. It's just the mob mentality of it, I guess. The hotness of it, I think. Whereas going, well, maybe I'm missing out, maybe I'm missing something, is saying, well, of course, you're just like everybody else. Why don't I like it? And that I don't know. I don't like that. I don't understand that phrase, I guess.
That's true.
Because it's
there's nothing wrong with being your own person.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying either. There is something wrong with being your own person. If you don't agree with me, you're a loser. But,
exactly.
But no, I'm just saying is that if you play something and you don't like it, and you can express why you don't like it, I feel like that's just kind of the end of it. Like I'm not worried. I'm not boggled by the people who like Scythe. I do not like Scythe. It's okay. I'm very lukewarm on Scythe. I understand why people enjoy that. They've explained it to me. I can kind of see why. But there's tons of other games for which I would very much prefer over Scythe. And so thus, when people go on and say it's not their number one game, they play it, I don't understand the fervor for that, but good for them. I don't feel as if I'm missing something.
Let us go into what we just played then.
Sand.
It's
very coarse and gets everywhere.
It's bad writing.
They could have wrote that better.
I quote.
They could have wrote that better. Could have been like, where was the chemistry between those two? Where was it? It should have been there.
They're both nice people.
They're good actors.
Good actors. Pretty.
I think they just didn't write it.
How do you write chemistry, though? They have chemistry checks on these movies, don't they? Like they bring in the actors, like, let's see how y'all bounce off each other. What's your chemistry like?
That guy that played, that one James Bond, George Lansbury, very famously, his Bond girl hated him. I can't remember who she was, but it was like a thing. Like in interviews, like she absolutely
Lazenby.
George Lansbury.
It's like Angela Lansbury and George.
No, George Lansbury. Or
I don't know what you said.
He's the.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
the one from the one.
Yeah, thank you for adding into the conversation.
Well, I just think you said George Lansbury.
I don't know. No, it's Lansby or something like that.
Okay.
Something weird. It matters not. He's done one thing.
Lazenby.
He's done one thing. Oh, thank God that you corrected me.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service, 1969. He's still alive.
Yes. Anything else you'd wish to add?
He has 6 children, 1 deceased. Spouses Chrissy Townsend and Pam Shriver.
Has 2 spouses?
Pam Shriver. Oh, no, that's not Arnold's
Minnie
wife.
Shriver?
No, what's Arnold's wife name?
She's a Kennedy.
Yeah, I know, but what's her name?
I don't know. Mrs. Schwarzenegger. I don't know. Why are you looking at me?
Arnold's wife.
Why? Okay.
Maria Shriver.
That's what I said.
I wonder if she's related to Pam.
She could be.
Maria's pretty old.
Hey, can I get to my point before you completely derail everything that nobody cares about?
I've I've never seen on Her Majesty's Secret Service, I don't think.
Okay.
Isn't it like the first one, Casino Royale? Are they not the same movie?
I don't think so, but I may be mistaken.
Go ahead.
So the actress
I won't interrupt this time.
the actress that played the Bond girl reportedly like ate garlic before each of the scenes where they kissed, purposely just to be like to disgust him. Like did all types of weird things to kind of get at him. And like you can kind of tell there's no chemistry there. She absolutely hates him.
Dame Enid Diana Elizabeth Rigg.
There you go.
She's dead though. He wins that one.
So all that proves is that garlic does not extend.
It is not the cure-all you think it is.
It's not.
I've been taking garlic pills.
There you go.
I don't think it affects. She was 82.
Oh.
That's a pretty good age, but my father-in-law is like 87.
So yeah, you can't buy chemistry. It's there.
No.
It's not.
Who when I think chemistry in the show, like Jackie Chan,
Chris Tucker.
Like those I love buddy cop movies. Buddy cop show, just the buddies thing. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. I like the first Bad Boys. Like I just love that dynamic when you have two people bouncing off each other, and I think that's why I like a lot of podcasts that have that, if they have chemistry.
Correct.
And I think that's what people look for.
Chemistry. How
If
would you
don't-
define chemistry?
I don't know. It's like the it factor. You either have it or you don't.
No, I don't believe in the it factor either.
I don't. You can't fake it. I think people can naturally. Now, of course, that is weird and hard. Like when you can't just put two strangers in a room and see. I guess you can.
Yes, you can.
There are some people that have like Soul Train. When I met, I immediately liked Soul Train in real life.
But that's different from liking somebody. Y'all had no chemistry.
Whatever. We were bouncing off each other like nobody's business.
No, he didn't.
We were left and right.
No,
it was fantastic. We nearly started our own podcast.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
But I mean, me and you, when we first met, we were kind of awkward. Well, I was.
You were.
Because I'm the quiet one. You're the...
Right.
You were aggressive back then.
I'm not aggressive.
You were aggressive.
I wasn't aggressive.
No, you weren't that bad back then.
No, I wasn't.
You slowly grew your aggression as your tumor grew.
Yes. Deep inside me.
You got angrier and angrier, and then finally they removed your anger.
There you go.
I don't know. It's indefinable.
No, I think it's very definable. If you can teach it or you can pinpoint it,
but
if
it's not
observable.
Because you have just like opposites attract thing. You can have two people completely different from each other, completely different characteristics, put them together, the way they go together just works. It's just the odd couple thing. He's buttoned up and straight-laced. He's a loose cannon.
All right, the Odd Couple was not about chemistry. The Odd Couple was exactly the display of two people driving each other insane because of their lack of chemistry.
I know, but it just but people watch the movie or the show. Grumpy old men. You have these. Well, they weren't that different from each other, but that's a good. I need to watch that movie again.
Yeah,
Grumpy old men. It's just two people on screen or on a podcast or whatever that just jive and it works. And of course, you have to relate that to subjectively what you enjoy. Like I listen to Comedy Bang Bang, as I've told you before. Mm-hmm. He has certain hosts and co-hosts that Paul F. Tompkins, he just clicks with that guy.
Yeah.
They just go back and forth like nobody's business. It's so simple, so easy. Then there's other people that come on there on a fairly regular basis. I'm like, they're not that great. But what makes that? What creates that? I don't know.
What creates it or what makes it? Now, first off, I'd point out that you're bringing up several different movies and shows that all run contrary to the example. For instance, the Grumpy Old Men. That is not chemistry. They are not getting along. They're not bouncing off each other. They hate each other, and you're enjoying the conflict. What you're saying, I think, in terms of buddy cop stuff, is...
It's the same thing with Rush Hour. That's what you just said.
But Rush Hour...
They don't get along.
Well... I would say that
them together
they did
is intriguing.
Get along. They did get along. Like at first, they started off that way, but then they worked together and it worked out. I mean, there's things of that nature that's different. So you you figure out whether or not you're enjoying the conflict that's caused by the complete different attitudes of the people, or are you actually enjoying the chemistry that these people have that they play into thing, like Pam and Jim on The Office.
Right.
That's like a let's be just the most recent thing I can think of in terms of like a romantic chemistry, or like you said with Rush Hour and things of that nature. That is definable because you can observe it.
Thus, it changes it.
No, you can observe it and see what these people are doing and what makes it work. Just as you can pinpoint why it doesn't work when somebody doesn't have chemistry. Like, you can define it.
Okay, but you asked, like, with George Lazenby and Madam Rig, why didn't that work?
She just hated him personally, and thus it translated to the screen. She hated him.
That's sad.
And doesn't mean that there are people who don't like each other. Like Chips, those two guys didn't get along. California Highway Patrols, yeah. John Baker was the character. Can't remember the guy's name. And Estrada.
You know, that's Chris Pine's dad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and they did not like each other, apparently. That's why he was not welcome back on the things.
Sadly, that's the same thing they said about the Lethal Weapon TV show, which I really liked. It had Damon Wayans and the other guy. Apparently, the other guy was a real crazy nut job, kind of just everybody caused lots of problems on set.
Yeah.
That was a great show. I like that show.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
But your thing about chemistry, thinking that chemistry cannot be defined or developed. Yes, there is anything that you can observe of that nature and you can figure it out. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'm probably phrasing it all wrong, like you said, but I'm talking about just having on-screen characters that you enjoy watching together on screen. For instance, you have shows like, I'll just say Fast and the Furious. This is one of my favorite shows. You have all these people get together that are in this gang, and they talk back and forth and crack jokes, and they have this thing, and it's believable to you as an observer. Then you have shows like The Acolyte, when they have these people that are supposed to be all these Jedi went on this trip together, and even when they crack a joke to each other, I'm like, that was just awkward and not funny. So is it just the writing that creates the chemistry, or is there, because, you know, they say in a lot of these like rom-coms, they will put the two actors together just to see if they work together.
Right.
Like, just let them hang out for a little bit. So is it something in real life that correlates to the show, or is it how well the actors write, or a bit of both?
It could be a bit of both.
The writers,
because we have examples of people who absolutely hated each other.
Yeah, that's true.
That have great chemistry on scene, and then there are people who really like each other that just they don't come across well in the movies. And so I'm kind of getting fuzzy.
Sonny Crockett and Tubbs.
Yeah, that's great.
Crockett and Tubbs.
That looked good. That worked out. But chemistry and all that, I don't know how we got off on this. I don't know why you're going on about what chemistry is. I don't know what your question is even. I think
why is it me? Maybe it was you that went off on it.
No, you went off on it. You posed a question about what makes chemistry and things of that nature, and you said you love buddy cop films.
I know, but what were we talking about before that?
I was talking about something. You've derailed it 4 times.
Were we talking about sand?
Yes, I was talking about sand. I brought up about...
let's just get back to sand.
No, I don't want to get back to sand.
Jerry liked it. I felt it was another pick up and deliver game.
Right. Well, it is a pick up and deliver game. This is a great game.
And you know what? This bothers me.
All right, go ahead. What bothers you?
It bothers me when I win a game and I don't know what I was doing. Not that I didn't know what I was doing. I clearly knew I need to pick this stuff up, deliver it, make money. I did that up and down my little side of the board.
Right.
We just did a 2-player game of it. Jerry was like connecting the dots, and of course Jerry always grasps in-game stuff, and you know what you're going to do throughout a game. I'm going very tactically, like, well, there's some cubes over here now. I'll go get those. Well, I can deliver them here. I'll go get these cubes. I'll deliver them here. And I won the game.
Well, I was playing it very poorly, and plus, I never win the first time we play a game.
I know, but you do. But I don't like it when I win a game.
You were playing a pick up and deliver
when I
game.
Feel like you've grasped it.
I didn't grasp it. I said halfway through the game, I'm playing very poorly.
I don't know. But anyway,
I said those words out loud halfway through the game. I am playing very poorly.
But because
I was messing around.
I don't like it when I win a game and I really don't think I did anything strategically to win it.
Well, no.
Because I didn't. Because I didn't plan it.
Well, technically, the point of winning a game is to score more points than me. And you did, so there you go. And that could be because of my own fault.
Well, that's true.
The fault of my stars.
That's what I do. Anytime we play a game twice, you definitely always win.
Pretty much. But there's a reason for that, because the first time I play a game, I'm not playing to win. I'm playing either to teach it or I'm wanting to figure out the minutia of it, of what works. Now,
there were a lot of things about that game I liked.
Now, I want to bring something up about sand and about games like this. And I thought about this when I went to Wendy's while you ate your salad. I didn't want to eat Wendy's in front of you.
It's okay.
I went and but I did after you ate your salad.
Yeah.
I wanted to be supportive because you said, I'm going to eat a big salad. And you got a very large bowl.
I had a salad bowl.
And it was an actual...
Here's the thing.
The bowl you got would be the salad I would make from my family.
I don't like to stir things up and have them spill out the sides. So I put my portions into a large container where I can stir vigorously and not have to worry about things spilling out the sides. Because that drives me absolutely insane. I eat most things in humongous bowls.
Comically oversized is how I would say it. I have seen you take bowls that like literally I have made bread and stuff, and these are things that I have in my home, and I look and go, what is he doing? And you're like putting cereal in like one of those big stainless steel something or others. I'm like, what are you doing? But you don't fill it up. You just like, I don't want it to go out. You're so afraid of it going over the edge.
I hate it spilling stuff.
I find that interesting. I mean, it is a thing of which people would notice if you were just to eat out of it. You can't eat out of a regular bowl.
I don't eat at home in front of a lot of people.
I know. You don't eat out of a regular bowl.
No, I do not eat out of regular bowls. They're too small.
But everybody else does.
Cereal, if you pour, like, I like to stir my cereal up in a regular bowl.
No, okay. Don't even go. Why are you stirring up cereal?
Because it needs to be. I need the milk to get all over the stuff.
You don't stir up. No, you don't. Nobody.
If you put sweetener in there.
Nobody. Oh my God! I forgot you did that. That you put sweetener in your cereal.
Oh yeah.
Which is absolutely an abomination that I witnessed.
A lot of cereals are already sweetened. I don't sweeten those.
You sweeten.
But I put sweeten in like bran flakes. I'm not just going to eat bran flakes as is.
Okay, that's the point of eating bran flakes, is that you're not eating the sugar. That and the stirring. There's tons of things that you do with your food that I find greatly disturbing that I don't go on about because it is. It's a thing of, I'm around Enrique and I see weird things with Enrique constantly. Sure. And there are some things that eventually I have to point out and say, listen, stop that. Or why do you do that? And it's just habits that he's gotten, things of that nature. And I have just concluded that a lot of your food-based habits are just part of your neuroticisms. Because I have witnessed many of people eat cereal and other items. And the process for which you digest, you go about eating is weird. All right, I'm just saying that. But that's not my point. I'm talking about sand.
Okay, go ahead. It gets everywhere.
I thought about this.
At Wendy's.
I got me a Frosty. I ate that in the car before I brought that in.
Frosties are the best chocolate shake.
I don't know. They're good. They're up there. I'm trying to think. I can't off the top of my head think of one that I like better. But they are good. Steak and Shake does pretty good. When you are reviewing a game, as you are this one, and you say, I don't like it, I understand that is your opinion, as you would say, that you don't like something. But can you go, this game is good, but I don't like it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's where I'm at with, that's how I feel about sand. When I purchased it, first off, it's from De Beer, which is the game. I think they're from Portugal, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yes.
They make a game called Silk, which is a lighter game. My kids love it. It's a game where you just imagine if you were a sheep herder and you're protecting your sheep from this wolf, but they like made it like this really cool artwork.
Aren't sheep herders called shepherds?
Yes, but these aren't sheep herders. You're shepherding silk worms, very large worms, and it's this very space looking theme.
Worm herder?
Yeah, you're a worm herder.
Wormerd.
Worm herder. I like a worm with you.
Worm herder.
and you're trying to protect it from the space wolf.
Okay, so it's Dune. You're just riding worms around everywhere.
In silk or sand, you're getting me off topic. But in sand, it's a pick up and deliver that has. It's a heavy box for it being a little box.
Very heavy.
It makes me mad that this box is so small and you can't fit everything in it, and it's so heavy. But you have your own double layer player board that you put stuff in, and your player board is beautiful. The artwork's beautiful. And basically, the main mechanism of the game is that you have morning, noon, and night. So you activate these dice that get rolled. There's 4 colors. Everybody uses your little action markers to activate those dice and do the actions. And the whole point of the game is to get your little worm to travel around the map, pick up cubes, and then take those cubes to somewhere else to use money. Very basic idea. The game has some very rough edges, but the thing that makes the game beautiful is this little mechanism with the dice. The dice get rolled at the end of every day. So it's basically 3 phases where you activate your dice 3 different times. The dice are put out there where all the players can see how many pips they have on them. And you have these little 4 little action spaces on your board with your little bitty markers that you use. And you go, okay, I'm going to activate the white dice. And the white dice does this thing. Or I'm going to activate the blue dice or the red dice. The blue dice basically provides water to your worm. And water is depleted as your worm travels the desert. The red dice feeds your worm, and it loses strength and needs food as it travels the desert. The white and black dice, you have to use both of those to heal your worm until it gets upgraded.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. And literally, those are what those are. The black dice gives you a little bit more prestige that you use to gain more money when you sell your items. And the white dice, it's literally adds to your prayer track. And your prayer is what helps you adjust the pips on the dice. So it's very, very easy little mechanism. But the little different paths that you have to take, some are very smooth, some are very rough, some are shortcuts, and those, of course, which one you choose to go down. Some are faster, some are slower. They make it harder, and you have to expend more resources to get around. Plus, every time you pick up a cube, you have to put it on the action space, and if you have a certain color cube, it blocks that space. You can't use that dice. You can. There's a great tutorial video the Meeple University people do. It's like 25 minutes. The rule book in this game is very hard. I've seen a lot of people complain about it. It's the rule book. It feels like it's a poor translation, like it skips over some stuff, and it's organized in a way that's not very intuitive. But watch the video. It explains it perfectly how to play the game. And you're just, as you're delivering stuff, you're moving cubes around and putting them on your player board to kind of get more upgrades. And you've got your little helpers that are with you on the convoy that eventually you can flip them over and they become powerful and give you a neat little power to use. And it's just a very nice game. It is probably the best pick up and deliver game I've ever played. I was trying to think of a pick up and deliver game.
I like Yukon Airways better.
I do not like Yukon Airways better. And here's why. 1, you don't because you sold it. 2, Yukon Airways can be gamed. There was a flaw in terms of the little Christmas tree track thing that gives you points. Plus, yes, Yukon Airways was good. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of other pick up and deliver games, the only other game I think that we keep in our collection that I would even say is like a pick up and deliver game is Yokohama. Mm-hmm. It's more of a pseudo Moncala worker placement though, where you are collecting resources and then delivering them to this one spot.
Trail mix.
But yes, in terms, I really think that Sand is probably the best pick up and deliver game I've ever played.
I was just thinking, I always just put up straight up games, mechanisms aside, even though they are related and have dice and pick up and deliver. If you presented me Yukon Airways or Sand, I would go Yukon Airways at this point in time. Sand, my pros to it is that it is absolutely beautiful. Like the art on everything is I told Jerry it's Disney-like. This artist, I don't know, Mado Pina and Ernest Sala. Fantastic. If they do that on all their stuff, they should be in the line. They should be in the hallowed halls as Ian O'Toole, where everybody knows these people. Because their art on this game is beautiful, the cards and everything. It's beautiful. However, as I said in a previous podcast, table presence doesn't mean anything to me if I don't like the game. It's not that I didn't like this game. It just didn't wow me. Like, I have this player board. I really liked, it's inlaid boards. The art is beautiful. It had all this. It's just like you would just discussed what we originally led into in this game. Everyone likes this game. Jerry said he likes this game. And I'm playing it, and about halfway through, I was like, let's pick up and deliver. This is a genre of game I'm just not crazy about. You go here, pick stuff up, take it there. Now, the way you do that, you can be more, the person more efficient in that beats the other person. I don't know. It just, I liked the die because for whatever reason, I was just rolling all ones, and that was brutal because you can offset the die with, like Jerry mentioned, the thoughts and prayers or money. And that's great. There you go. You can have ways to mitigate the die rolls. That's always fantastic when people do that because that's necessary other than you're just being screwed. It's good. I don't know.
I think you need to play it more.
I would not be opposed to playing it again.
Two,
and for my being a 2-player game as well, I just stuck to I literally just went up and down my side of the board. 2 or 3 places up, deliver back down here. 2 or 3 places up, deliver back down here. I just went up and down my side of the board. I did not visit other Jerry mentioned at the end of the game, there's like a whole aspect of the game we didn't even touch.
Right. And I think this game kicks off more with 3 players. I think playing it with just 2 kind of hinders it a little bit. I think having multiple players, whereas this, there is a solo version of it, of course. I think that it kind of felt like you're just playing a solo version of the game when you're doing that.
And I think when you're playing 2-player, at least, you could very easily do it simultaneously as long as you're not on the same side of the board. Because the moves you're making over there don't affect anything I'm doing. I'm picking up these cubes. I want to deliver them over here. There are some reasons to maybe go in player order, but if you're not crossing paths, I don't see the need for me to wait on you to finish your turn for me to do my stuff.
Just for reference, DeVere is the same people that made the Red Cathedral, which of course we really enjoyed, and as well as Silk, and what was the other one that was just we just talked about, the 3 Ring Circus, that one as well. I
haven't played that one.
Let's see.
And this is in the universe of Batoku?
Correct. And so
Silk.
And so they had several games that have come out. I have not got to play that Daitoshi, which is apparently another game that's a worker placement type game. I really want to play that. I've not gotten a chance. But this is my point being is that this company is quickly becoming one of my favorites. The games that I've played of theirs, from Michael Strogoff and the wine game that leaves me, and they also did Jerusalem. So they've got a bunch of great games, as well as that Paris, the City of Lights. Remember that one? We played that one. We had several of those like that.
Don't they do the little Sherlock game, the little 2-player Sherlock game?
I believe they do, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. So worker placement is not my favorite mechanism, but I would say that this is probably the best I've ever played. And so
pick up and deliver.
I said worker placement?
Yeah.
Okay, pick up and deliver. This is the best I've ever played of that genre. I don't like worker placement. Pick up and deliver. And even though I knew that when I purchased this game, I was still intrigued by not only the artwork, the board. I think these are first-time artists and first-time designers even. And just the love that this game was getting on BGG made me wonder if this is even something I'd want to play solo, which I haven't got to play the solo. This game's got a lot of stuff in it, but I'm thoroughly enthralled with it. Not just the options that you have from having different player powers if you want, picking different convoy assistants, the way that it scores. I think one of the intuitive things, and this is generally indicative of a good design, is that this game does not have a victory point track. Every Euro game that kind of you have that trope. This game is just money. Money is what you need to win. That's what it takes to win, and that's the victory points at the end of the game. The fact is that you use money to change the pips on the dice. So you have to use money sometimes to go, well, I have to basically get rid of victory points to change this dice to do something useful. There is this block in people's minds that if it's on a victory point track, they won't go down on a victory point track to use this item because it's victory points. When you take away that track and give them money instead, even though they know money's the victory points, they'll spend money to do something. And I think I like that mechanism, just a little small change in the nomenclature of the game that goes, okay, spend money, whoever makes the most money at the end of the game wins. I really enjoy this game. I'm wanting to play it solo and see, but it's one of those games at the same time I can look at it and go,
I wonder what I'm missing.
No, I go, this is not a game that I typically would enjoy. But people who like those pick up and deliver games are going to go crazy about this one.
It's interesting when you said that these are first, and I clicked their stuff on Board Game Geek, and yeah, this is their. So when you said that, I was like, no, well, I thought they've put these games in the same universe, and they're not even the same designers and or artists.
Yeah.
So I guess DeVere has just said we're going to make all these games in this universe. Like, do they have the same art? Stylings? I don't see how they could with different artists.
Silk does. Silk has a very similar. Probably the color palettes are different, but it's very similar.
Just the worm thing.
The worm.
They're all about the worms.
Like that. But sand, I enjoy it.
Jerry kept saying I got to take care of my worm.
Well, I mean, that's what you got to do.
Got to feed my worm.
Don't abuse the worm.
What?
Because you're just like, I want to travel. Oh, I ain't got enough water. Oh, I ain't got enough food. I'm like, no.
My worm was thirsty and hungry a lot.
Like, no, if you're not.
And care. Like, one of those just hearts. Like, just you're caring for your health. But it was a heart. So it's like, oh, you love your animal.
Yes.
Your worm.
You work, it's health. It's losing health. And if you can't pay those things.
And they kind of made it like if you ever seen A Bug's Life. You know, the big caterpillar.
The German caterpillar.
He was very lovable. Ooh. And that's kind of how I envisioned my worm.
That's a caterpillar. It's not a worm.
It's a type of worm.
No.
Worm-like.
It's not cat. No. It's not.
It's wormy.
It's not.
But they're long and wiggly.
They're not. They're not worms.
I know, but they are worm-like.
No, they're not. They are not worm-like.
Oh, and speaking of that.
Caterpillars have legs.
I understand what you're speaking of, but they resemble worms.
No, they don't.
They're worms with legs.
No, that's like saying they're like sharks with feet. Like no.
Snakes and lizards. Lizards are snakes with legs.
No, they're not.
They're very similar.
No, they're not.
I think so.
They're not. No, biology says no. They're not.
I think so.
They're not. You can think all you want. They certainly are not. Snakes and lizards are the same?
I didn't say they're the same. I said they're similar.
Well, that can mean anything. Everything can be similar.
Oh, well, I mean, it's like snakes are like lizards are like snakes with legs.
No.
So, speaking of polls, we had posted the one previously that Jerry just ignored and discussed everything on the poll. That's fine. I had posted some polls earlier in June. We had on Tom, and we discussed Deep Impact versus Armageddon. And I just wondered how most people felt about that.
My dear friend Tom.
Most people voted Armageddon.
Of course.
A few people, more than I expected, voted Deep Impact. I'm like, look, you enjoyed Armageddon way more.
They haven't watched... No, I guarantee you these people that watch Armageddon haven't watched Deep Impact in a long time.
I've seen it, and I like Taya Leone, and I like Elijah Wood. Other than that, but I also put A Bug's Life and Ants. Bruno has some weird opinions, but he was an ants guy.
Yeah.
I'm not into the Woody Allen ant. Bug's Life was one of my favorite Disney movies.
Yeah, but they're not comparable.
I know, but they're two bug movies.
Yeah, but they're not meant to be the same just because they're made for bugs.
And then Bruno wanted me to post Leviathan and Deep Star 6.
What?
They're two 80s like monster movies under the sea.
Oh, okay.
Under the sea. Everybody voted Leviathan. Oh, Dante's Peak and Volcano. Dante's Peak won, as it should have.
Well, Tommy Lee Jones stopped that volcano in Los Angeles by pushing cars up against a wall, didn't they?
I just remember it being a horrendous movie. Dante's Peak is somewhat enjoyable, even it's super cheesy, and Volcano I did not enjoy at all.
Dante's Peak was all those were kind of just weird.
They're all bad.
But Dante's Peak, where Grandma just jumps out and pushes the boat for no reason,
Melts in the water.
That is completely what Grandma would do. Just like, Grandma, we've got this covered. What do you do?
They were right there.
Well, what are you doing?
They were right there.
Yeah. And just gets out and pushes. It's like, Grandma.
She wanted to be a martyr.
But ants and bugs are not anywhere near supposed to be the same show.
I know, but I equate them the same.
I know, but they're not supposed to be.
But A Bug's Life was more entertaining. Ants, I just did not like Ants. It was a Woody Allen movie. Just animated. I didn't care for it. Anyway, that was another poll.
Don't even get me started.
All right, let's see.
Don't even get me started on your polls and false equivalencies.
That's going to do it for this episode. Next week, we're going to discuss
Sky Team.
I like a Spiel des Jahres nominee.
He's going to win.
Have they already done that yet?
It's September, I think.
Oh, really?
August.
Wow, they put that out way in advance, don't they? Okay, well.
It's going to win.
Did we like it? Stay tuned and find out. Until next week.
I like the name.
I'm Gaby.
It's Jared.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.